The Vollum Award for Lifetime Philanthropic Achievement recognizes individuals who, during their lifetimes, have tirelessly committed themselves to bettering their community through serving, funding, and enlisting support for a range of community charitable causes. This year's winner has done exactly that, described by his nominees as the spirit of the community, a thoughtful co-partner in learning, and an overall amazing human who has opened doors for so many people. This year's winner of the Vollum Award for Lifetime Philanthropic Achievement is Michael Alexander. Let's hear from the honorary sponsor.
The Urban League of Portland is one of the oldest and largest civil rights and social services organizations that's dedicated to the empowerment of Black Oregonians and Southwest Washingtonians. We're a statewide organization that does policy and advocacy and civic engagement and then offers culturally specific programs and services to the Black community. We've been here since 1945 in Portland. Mike was hired to be the president and CEO in, I think, 2012. And Mike was such a strong leader at that time. He restored a lot of our relationships with the community. He was very open. He built trust.
When Mr. Alexander was here, I worked at the Urban League Multicultural Senior Center. And Mr. Alexander would come down to the senior center, say hello to the older adults, and they would smile. And he'd have this little two-step that he would do when he'd walk through the door, because we would always play music. And he just lit up the room,
Mike really demonstrated for me and kind of mentored me in the model of sort of servant leadership, that he really exists to serve the community. He's so friendly and personable, and he is so dedicated. I love Mike. If I could stress one thing, it's that Michael Alexander is great. Yeah, can't say a bad word about him.
He used to tell me, "Stop calling me Mr. Alexander." I said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Alexander." Just call me Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Alexander, I'll call you Mike.
Congratulations, Mike, for your achievement. I really want to say that Portland is very lucky that you chose this as your home, because by you being here and you being so giving, you've made our community better. I want to say thank you for everything you've done for me and everything you've done for the Urban League, and then everything you've done for our community.
Let me start by saying how appreciative and humbled I am to have been honored by the Association of Fundraising Professionals for the path of my journey over what has been almost 50 years of engagement with community in various ways. It is particularly important for me and meaningful to receive this award on the basis of being in the space and the work of philanthropy. I've had the unique experience of being both the recipient and the funder of work in community in both civic and community spans. And the work that I've done with the Cambia Foundation, with the Northwest Health Foundation, and many years ago when I had black hair with the Aetna Foundation in Hartford, Connecticut, reminded me that communities need allies, sometimes they need co-conspirators. What they don't need are saviors. I'm reminded of a scenario. I grew up in New York City. Many of my family lived in Philadelphia, and we commuted from New York to Philly to visit family quite often. And there was an area in Staten Island along the New Jersey Turnpike where you passed the landfill for New York City, and the smell was horrible. And for 7 or 10 minutes as you're driving along the turnpike, the smell was outrageous. And whether you were in a little hoopty or Mercedes-Benz, that smell was the same for everyone. 7, 10 minutes down the road, it was gone. And I'm always reminded that there were really two scenarios of vehicles traveling through that. One who could not wait to get beyond that smell, and others who were absolutely focused on what it was, how it smelled, and how it made them feel. And they wanted to find some way to address it. For me, the insight was that for those folks who could not get away from it soon enough, they were blind to the fact that there was a community associated immediately adjacent to that landfill. And that smell was a part of their lived reality every day. And in some ways, it reminds me of many of the challenges that we face as a community and as a nation. There are entrenched problems where far too many people are just looking to get that 7 or 10 miles down the road when they're away from the impact and the visualization and the realization of what that means to people's daily lives. And then there are others, hopefully others of us, who have decided to stop the vehicle and to understand that at some point we have to be about the work of addressing that, because that is the daily reality for communities, for families, for children, and that we, as people who are less impacted by it, have a higher responsibility to speak to it. So I'm hoping that philanthropy will again look at its role in advancing the removal of barriers, but to do it in a way where the greatest insights will be derived from the places where there's the greatest pain, and to be led by those who will most benefit from being able to come together as community in a total sense.
Congratulations to Michael Alexander on your 2022 National Philanthropy Day Award.